James Gunn teases Chris Pratt for DCU. Well, it stands to reason as an actor he gets along with and likes, and so if available, he would hire him. You know, but is he available? It depends on what's going on with the MCU, DCU. We don't know yet. So anyway, this is a direct guessing about what roles he could play. And really, it's down to these two, I think. And I'd be more akin to Hal Jordan. And Booster Gold, I think that's a younger actor's job. It's too bad because, yes, that is a role that Chris Pratt could have played. But I think it requires a younger actor. And it's of some interest to note that Chris Pratt, I believe, is in his 40s now. Older than Henry Cavill. So we can have old Hal Jordan. If they went with an older man playing Hal Jordan, because at one time Tom Cruise was being talked to about it. And back then, apparently the idea was this buddy cop type movie between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And that it sounded actually kind of good, you know, and that Hal Jordan would either die or disappear at the end. And apparently the talks broke down because Tom Cruise didn't want to play a character who dies. I guess. I don't know. That was the reason why. But anyway, the scenario in and of itself is not too bad. And that, maybe Hal Jordan would come back later. But that the going forward with Justice League and whatnot, that Jon Stewart would be their Justice League Green Lantern. So, okay. So if you kind of had the same scenario where you have Chris Pratt playing Hal Jordan and you just sort of throw it in there that he's been Green Lantern a while, but he's just been in outer space all this time, dealing with all the dangers out there. And then Jon Stewart is the young Green Lantern that he trains, you know. It's a bit of a problem because of a lot of the cool Hal Jordan stories you would probably not get into, or they could split them off and could go with the same plan. Jon Stewart is the Justice League Green Lantern, and Hal Jordan has films on his own dealing with Sinestro and that sort of stuff. So, Hal Jordan would be top on my list for him to play. It'd be a very different role from his time as Star-Lord and all that. And don't just jump him into a comedic role all of a sudden, We'll let him do something else. Instead of just doing Star-Lord as Green Lantern, And they go through some of these others. Guy Gardner, yeah, I guess. He's just got to play the a-hole. Alan Scott, I think, is unlikely. Because even the article goes in, technically, he's not a Green Lantern. That whole complicated story about him and stuff. In a Green Lantern series where you delve into multiverse stuff, and that's the Green Lantern movie or episode where Hal Jordan meets Alan Scott from an alternate universe, that would work. But as to who would play him, I don't know. So one thing I noticed here about the direct, they do make some mistakes here. I mean, it just says Zack Snyder shunned the character completely. He didn't. He cast Jon Stewart. Warner Brothers shunned him. Okay? I mean, just not accurate. So it goes through the others about Reverse Flash. I don't know. Again, he's an older man playing the role. Green Arrow, I don't think so. And then Booster Gold, yes, but if this was, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, Adam Strange, yeah, and just like the article goes into James Gunn's interest in lesser-known characters, and so that's a possibility. And with, again, it's another sci-fi character, and that's another thing. Maybe Pratt was like, oh, can I play something else that's not in space? No. So Adam Strange could be something they'd look at. The only disturbing part is that he says, yes, James Gunn praised Tom King's recent run of strange adventures. Just like Tom King is poison. And it's really disturbing that James Gunn seems to think he's a real talent. He isn't. He can fool you. He knows how to tease things and stuff like that. He fooled me with Mr. Miracle, and that was it. And then, oh, good, but Identity Crisis. I mean, not Identity Crisis. Heroes in Crisis. Yeah, Identity Crisis was not bad. Heroes in Crisis was absolutely. The art was beautiful, but the story and just the premise so stupid. And so I no. Captain Cold, yeah, I suppose that's a possibility. You know, he gets to play a villain. And then, of course, back to comedy, Condiment King. Yeah. Whom Robert Pattinson said he wants his Batman to go up against. And with James Gunn, you know, of course, Robert Pattinson supposedly will not be the DCU Batman. So, yeah, there you go. So those are some of your choices for Pratt. And again, I think he's aged out of the role for Booster Gold. They could do an old Booster Gold, I guess, but when you get so far afield from the characters in these comic book movies, it's like, what's the point? You know, there's certain things you got to do. Of course, it's not going to fit perfectly, and I understand that, but you don't need to go that much further. I mean, of course, you have a star here that you want to cast, and that's also factored in. I'm thinking Hal Jordan is the one to go with. So, anyway, there you go. There's nothing solid here. He still has obligations to Marvel and wherever else they're going to go with that. So, is this likely? It's likely because of James Gunn and who he wants to cast. And should Chris Pratt be available, definitely he would cast him in a role. Whether it may not even be a big one, it might be like, you know, a minor role here, just say, hey, look, Chris Pratt's there, and that kind of thing, and you know, but there you are, and that also involves the other cast members of Guardians. More than likely will appear, and in fact, yeah, one of them played a background role. I can't, what's her name? Forget. Oh well, sorry, I'm blanking on that one, but in Suicide Squad, anyway. But anyway, so yeah, this there's a huge likelihood for this. But Hal Jordan is a character that might need to be cast rather soon. So if he's not available, then yeah, probably not. But anyway, there you go.